Basketball fans, welcome back. So this is the final game the Kenyan Morans participated in the FIBA Afrobasket 2021. And it was in the quarterfinals. And the South Sudanese team, they got their sweet revenge on the Kenyan Morans, beating them by 2 points, 60-58. So let's just talk about this. So Kenya versus South Sudan has had a history. They've always had a history, and which dated back to the pre-qualifiers about a year before this matchup. And in the pre-qualifiers, the Kenya Morans were able to beat South Sudan in the Nyayo Stadium. It was a very close. It was a very close game. It was a very grit and grind matchup. And I dare say, I hear some people say that this was a derby game, which uh, which is rightfully true. Then when I saw we were going to match up against South Sudan, I just knew for a fact that South Sudan was just a better team, considering the fact that they had Lowell Deng at the helm as the president and they had Coach Royal Ivy, an assistant coach for the Brooklyn Nets. So it is going to be a very, very difficult matchup. And when this game happened at tip-off, the South Sudanese team came out swinging. And in the first quarter, the Kenyan runs were limited to 11 points. There's that thing that I've seen, especially when a team comes out swinging against the Kenya Morans, they kind of just get frazzled, and their main job during games is trying to dig themselves out of a hole. They've never started out the game dominant, and they've never created a lead. All the time that the Kenya Morans have been playing, they keep cutting leads every single time, and they keep trying to dig themselves out of the hole. They've never come out dominant and swinging. And South Sudan came out swinging hard, and they won the first half. And in the second half, you could see the Kenyan Morans did a valiant effort to be able to cut the deficit, and they were able to limit South Sudan to 9 points in the fourth. And despite a strong fourth quarter from the Kenyan Morans, it was still not enough. And you could see late game heroics happened, and Telongwe, he had a shot to be able to hit that buzzer beater like the one he did in Angola, but the way he released it and the way the time and the way the defense was set up, the shot just rimmed out, and that was it. The Kenya Morans just got eliminated like that. So looking at even the game, the Kenya Morans, they shot pretty well, especially on 2-point field goals. Overall, shooting from the field, they shot abysmal. They shot a 34%, but the South Sudanese team just they were not able to even find their shot, especially it came down from the three ball. And it's actually quite interesting to see the Kenyan runs actually led in percentage wise. They shot at a better rate from the three than South Sudan. But if you look at the free throw line, that's where the Kenyan runs failed. And if they had made a couple of like half of their threes, we would have been talking a different story at the time, and they will have gone on to match up against Tunisia. But even if the Kenyan Morans went to match up against Tunisia, they would already lost that game because Tunisia were the team that eliminated South Sudan right after this game, and they went ahead to win it all and won their Afrobasket title. So the Kenyan Morans in this game, they did not start off solid because they really struggled. They scored their first basket damn near close to the check this out, damn near like 6 minutes after the game started, at the time 4:33. That's when they went ahead and scored their first basket. So the South Sudanese team came out swinging and limited the Kenyan rounds to 11 points in the first. And there the Kenyan rounds started the game without any momentum and without any game plan of how to be able to start the games well, because they started out the game horrible and terrible. And in the rebounds, although we were able to out rebound the South Sudanese team, it still wasn't enough because in the turnovers, you could see the Kenyan Morans, they had 20 turnovers, 18 fouls. I mean, it was just a coming out party because given like the way the South Sudanese team were just, swinging and the way they came in, they led throughout the whole game. And there was the only time that the game was just close was in the fourth, where it was a bit clutch. But you could see South Sudan, they had a very good game plan, especially defensively. And it was you was actually sad to see us lose like that. It was just a game that was just at arm's length, and given like the way our players came out and played, it wasn't the most convincing performance, and it was not performance that you can look at and be proud of. Despite even the game being clutch and being very close, there are players there that really disappointed us. Sito Makamba played 15 minutes. This was his productivity. Did virtually nothing in the game. Griffin Ligari, 9 minutes played, damn near like a whole quarter. Did nothing. I mean, he did virtually nothing. Eric Mutori played a full quarter of basketball, did nothing. 0 for 4, 0 for 3 from 3. Did nothing in the game. Victor Bosire, it's unfortunate these guys I've kept mentioning this thing, but this is a guy that you cannot rely on. You cannot rely on this person. He's actually unplayable and useless during the game. Fidel Okoth, you could see damn near like a whole quarter he played, only 1 point. And these are the guys that are treated like royalty when they're seen here in Kenya. But if you look at their stat sheet, these guys are actually quite horrendous. They're actually quite poor, you know. Talongo, he didn't even rest in this game. He shot 5 of 20 and 3 of 13. Oh my god. This 3 of 13 was just brutal. And he finished the double of his own, but the 4 turnovers and 3 personal fouls, not a good look at all. You can see Fidel Okoth, he had a plus minus from -16, the highest negative plus minus of the game. Albert Odero really tried to help in this situation. I feel like his productivity was underrated in these games that he played, and I'm glad that he's going to play in this year's Afrobasket qualifiers. But he was actually quite solid. He's actually the player that was exciting to see, because you can look at how he played. He was quite efficient, 77.8% shooting from the field, 100% from downtown. He was actually quite good. But another player, Valentine Yakinda, useless. Desmond O'Willy, useless. This guy did nothing in the game. He was just playing cardio. There's some players who are just good at cardio. Eric Mutor is good at cardio. Victor Bosire is good at cardio. Fidel Okoth is good at cardio. Valentine Yakinda is very good at cardio. Who else? Desmond O'Willy, he plays cardio basketball. Ronald Gombe, at least he pulled down 9 rebounds, but the only thing that was needed in his productivity wise was scoring, and there was no other scorer there. Okal Karange just cleans up the boards, and the reason why he got 10 points is because he played that total of 31 minutes. He played like 3 full quarters, so yeah, that's that. Then Bush, man, he had 5 personal fouls, and he actually was the one that almost cost us he actually cost us the game, because he couldn't even make a layup and he was whistled for an offensive foul. So yeah, that's that. So it's pathetic. There are some players who are very pathetic. Very good players, but zero output. There are so many players here who just know how to play cardio, but they don't know. They know how to play cardio basketball, but cannot produce anything significant on the basketball court. And even looking at how many times we were sent to the line, only went to the line 6 times. Because of Kenyan Morans' lack of IQ on defense, we sent the South Sudanese team to the line 22 times. They had 22 free throw attempts, more than us. We don't even have the ability or IQ to draw fouls, but you know how to give out fouls and foul the other team. So there's that. I mean, it just questions like our IQ on defense, which is it's actually quite pathetic. So it's so pathetic. In the first quarter, all over the place, and this is the quarter where we were limited to 11 points. So it was just so embarrassing. Look at this. Very embarrassing. We don't even know where you're supposed to score. When you have a team that plays hard defense on you, like the South Sudanese team played, that's when the rubber meets the road. Like the win against Mali was like that win that tried to like show that we are in it, but we are not, because he lost against Cote d'Ivoire and Nigeria. So yeah, South Sudan are just on that level. Then this is the time that we saw this time the Kenyan Morans were playing. This is the point where we could see we were really fighting back. If you look at the first half, the way we scored, if you look at the way the Kenyan Morans scored in the first half. It was actually quite abysmal, and there were so many X's than than circles. But if you look at the fourth quarter in the second half, you could see there was much more. There was a break-even point, especially when it came to scoring. But it is what it is. So the South Sudanese team reigns supreme, and right now they're ranked number one in the whole continent after their dominant performance in the FIBA World Cup qualifiers in the continent and them playing in the FIBA World Cup last year. So right now they are number one, and they're miles ahead of Kenya. And Kenya is just a team that, basketball wise, we are crap. There's nothing there. And in the next couple of videos, I'll be looking at other games that that took place, and please be sure to tune into that, because we'll just go through every single game the way we've done in the previous ones. So stay tuned to that one. So if you guys like the video, make sure you leave your feedback down in the comments on what you think about this, and I'm out. Peace.